Hey folks, it's Jeff for This Week with JTT. I was looking around. It has been confirmed, like as early as like this past Monday, is I'm looking at YahooNews.com and also from this other thing called the Telegraph. It says Justin Trudeau resigns as Canadian Prime Minister. So wow, okay. And one of my videos I go like, okay, what's going on, why, and all that. It's like it's not much like what he's doing, it's like why. So this is what it says right here from the Telegraph from Yahoo News. Justin Trudeau has announced his resignation as Prime Minister of Canada and suspended Parliament while his party appoints a new leader. So, yeah, he did resign. There's no debate about it. The embattled 53-year-old has led Canada since 2015 and has fallen foul of his Liberal Party in recent weeks after the resignation of his longtime ally and deputy, I think it's Chrystia Freeland. I remember that name. On Monday, he announced he would stand down after a membership election and that the Canadian Parliament would be suspended until March 24th, which might throw some chaos in there. The controversial move will allow Mr. Trudeau to avoid the confidence vote in his minority government, which could have forced an early federal election. So I think he's trying to save face every which way he can, it looks like. Okay, he goes on to say, Mr. Trudeau, the longest-serving leader of any G7 nation, admitted it had become obvious that he could not lead his Liberal Party into this year's election. That's interesting. Goes on to say, it has become clear that, to me, that if I'm having to fight eternal battles, I cannot be the best option in that election, Mr. Trudeau said. So I imagine there's some infighting in his party. He said that he made a decision over Christmas break and told his children over dinner that he intended to resign. Poll shows the Liberal face a drubbing. What? I never heard that before. Polls show the Liberals facing a drubbing by opposing Conservative in a vote. So in other words, though, if I'm understanding the wording of this correctly, showing a drubbing by the opposite. Basically, I think if I'm hearing this correctly, I think the Conservatives are going to beat them by a lot. See a pattern here, folks? For weeks now, Mr. Trudeau, the last major Western leader of the pre-Trump era, has been battling dissent within his party. Yeah, that's why he's resigning. Like, there's no unity within his party. Ms. Freeland's resignation, which cited division between the pair of over-gimmick policies. Gimmick policies? Gimmick. Okay. Designed to prop up his ailing poll ratings and prompted a mini revolt by 24 of his party's MPs last month. Okay, that's not sounding good. Mr. Trudeau was already weakened on the world stage after Donald Trump's re-election as president, U.S. president, November 5th. Oh, so now you gotta blame Trump on this one. So you gonna tell me you gonna blame Trump for Mr. Trudeau's resignation? Let me guess. He's banking on Kamala Harris to win. I bet money he's banking Kamala Harris to win, and he saw how bad she got beat. I mean, I've seen some people getting whooped in terms of elections, but that was like, wow, it should be against the law that she got beaten so bad. Oh my goodness. I'm going to read that last part again. Mr. Trudeau was already weakened on the world stage after Donald Trump's re-election as U.S. president on November 5th. Weakened. So you're going to tell me because Trump won, he'd be reduced in terms of strength? Let me stop. The pair have a fractious relationship, and Mr. Trump has since issued a series of taunts that plunge Ottawa into a crisis mode over a possible trade war with the U.S. So basically, yeah, a trade war against the U.S., United States, and Canada, yeah. And Trump has the stones to do it. He don't bluff. Trump don't bluff. No, if you go and screw with the United States in terms like, things like trade, no, Trump will back it up and fight you on it, give you a heads up. Woo! Mr. Trump has repeatedly joked that Canada should become the 51st state in the United States after his inauguration if we would like to avoid a tariff up to 25% on exports. Okay, he joked, folks. He was kidding. Calm down. I know people in Canada say, we don't want to be the 51st state of the United States. Like, folks in Canada, please calm down. No one's going to tell you got to be the 51st state of the United States. No. That may fall down to someplace like Puerto Rico. They may fall down to that. Maybe. I'm not saying it will be. People in Puerto Rico, don't panic either. I'm not saying that you can be swept up to be the 51st state. I'm not saying it. But the reality is, you're way more likely to be swept up to be the 51st state than Canada. Now, am I saying that beyond shadow of a doubt? No. There's a bad chance of me hitting the lotto before Puerto Rico become the 51st state. This now, I'm slamming this Puerto Rico, dog. I've been there. The country's beautiful and all that. In terms of being the 51st state, don't know. But in my opinion, it's a better chance they're going to be made to a 51st state than Canada. Because let's face it, Canada's a very big place. Canada is a very big country. It's big. It's very, very big. Puerto Rico is not as big as Canada. So if you got to make one to a 51st state, pick the one that's small enough that you can manage. Canada is huge. There's tons of wilderness, and good luck with that. The only great thing with Canada, it has a ridiculous amount of resources. So I understand why I say, Canada 51st state, but it'll be a mess if you try to incorporate Canada to make the 51st state. Just saying. Okay, goes on to say, after reacting to his resignation, hold on. Mr. Trump has a reaction to Mr. Trudeau's resignation. So you got to check this out. Reacting to his resignation, Mr. Trump said on his Truth Social platform that many people in Canada love being the 51st state. Some, not all. Mr. President, Mr. Trump, with all due respect, sir, some people in Canada might like the idea, but not all. I'm just saying, that is stating fact. The United States can no longer suffer the massive trade deficits and subsidies that Canada needs to stay afloat, he said. Justin Trudeau knew this and resigned. If Canada merged with the United States, there will be no tariffs, taxes will go way down, and they will be totally secure from the threat of the Russia-Chinese shift that constantly surrounded them. Together, what nation it would be. Well, that's true. If Canada got backed by our military forces, China and Russia would think twice before trying to bully them in terms of in the waters and all that stuff, all from the air. Just saying. Am I saying it could be in the 51st state? Nope. I surely doubt it. If it does, we'll all be shocked. As leader of a minority government following the collapse of confidence and supply demand with a left-wing New Democratic Party last year, Mr. Trudeau is vulnerable to confidence motions in Parliament. Pierre, this is going to be a French word I can't pronounce. Please don't come at me. Pierre Poilievre. I was going to call him Pierre. How's that? Pierre, the Conservative Party opposition leader, has repeatedly tried to force him into an early election where parliamentary votes designed to show his unpopularity against MPs. Okay. On Monday, he called for carbon tax election, urging Mr. Trudeau to bring forward the federal vote schedule for later this year. Mr. Trudeau, whose father, Pierre Trudeau, also served as Prime Minister, swept into power in 2015, promising to deliver affordable homes, a prosperous middle class, and a climate-conscious, inclusive society. Gee, that sounds familiar. But many Canadians argue that great Canadian dream he promised never materialized while the federal budget deficit has skyrocketed. That sounds familiar too. Mr. Trudeau still bears the scars from Trump's first term in office and a botched immigration policy that brought hundreds of thousands of new arrivals. Oh yeah, we know about that. His government decision to impose carbon tax and offer asylum to more migrants had proved unpopular, especially in light of high inflation and grocery prices. No kidding. On Monday, Mr. Trudeau declared that he was a fighter. Let me finish first before I say something. He was a fighter, telling the press, every bone in my body has always told me to fight because I care deeply about Canadians. I care deeply about this country, and I'll always be motivated by what is in the best interest of Canada. Okay, you understand why I'll try not to laugh. He said he was a fighter. But yeah, he's going to resign. You know how strange that sounds? I'm a fighter, even though I'm quitting. Okay. Okay then. He argued that since 2015, he has strengthened the middle class, supported Ukraine, and helped the country recover from the pandemic. His decision to suspend Parliament was likely proved controversial with opposition parties and could be challenged in court. That is true. The Canadian Prime Minister has the power to request prorogation from the country's government general, but conventionally use it only in the interest of the country. We heard that before. Mr. Trudeau's critics would most likely argue that he sent the MPs home to avoid a confidence vote, giving his party time to elect a more popular leader and recover its ratings before the election. So basically, he's trying to cover his party's behind. Shocker. The rules for the Liberal leadership election will be set out in the coming weeks. Early contenders to replace Mr. Trudeau includes Ms. Freeman, Mark Carney, the Canadian former governor of the Bank of England. Interesting. That was like from, hold on, is that a timestamp on that? No, there's no timestamp for this one here. I'm going to try to say that end this early because this thing goes on and on and on and on and on and on. We go some deep detail. Like I said, you know what? I'll probably come back tomorrow, go with more details what it says here, but let's see. Yeah. I'm gonna end this for now, but like I said, like the last video, what are your thoughts on it? Are you sad to see him go, or are you relieved? It's like, thank goodness, goodbye, don't come back. Once again, the Chloe enrollment though, what's your thoughts on it? Or if you're not into politics, understood, much respect, love your work. Until then, folks, talk to you later. Share, like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. See you when I see you. Peace.